Silence, the doors are about to open for the first audience granted by the Pope to television viewers. We have the highest expectations for television, for bringing the ever more brilliant revelation of truth to intellectually honest minds. The most important thing in this general change of climate is that instead of a church rather closed in on itself, a very clerical church structure, we have a church that is much more open to the world, a church much more the people of God. I think this is a promise for the future.
Pope Francis met with roughly 80 people during the plenary assembly of the Pontifical Council for Social Communications. They traveled all the way to Rome to discuss the role of the Church and the way it communicates. He insisted that the use of social media is crucial to connecting with people who are in some way disappointed in Christianity.
Che ruolo deve avere la Chiesa con le sue realtà operative e comunicative? In ogni situazione, al di là delle tecnologie, credo che l'obiettivo sia quello di sapersi inserire nel dialogo con gli uomini e le donne di oggi. Sapersi inserire nel dialogo con gli uomini e le donne di oggi, per comprenderne le attese, i dubbi, le speranze.
The Pope also explained that in the age of globalization, there's also more loneliness, and that's precisely why the Church must also be present in social media.
È importante allora saper dialogare, entrando con discernimento anche negli ambiti creati dalle nuove tecnologie, nelle reti sociali, per far emergere una presenza che ascolta, dialoga e incoraggia.
Pope Francis said the new challenge of the Church is to help every person discover Jesus through this new era of communication.
The Catholic Channel on Sirius XM 129 presents a live broadcast from Vatican Radio, the seat of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. Now, here are your hosts, Lino Rulli and...
I love the enormously positive press that Pope Francis has gotten in the mainstream media. And I don't think they've gotten the story completely right about him. And I am so okay with that. It's beyond words. Now, for somebody who's really into the church, they might say, oh, I don't know if the Pope meant this, or we should nuance his words that way. And I go, yeah, have you noticed a lot of Catholics don't go to church anymore? I'm not so much into nuance right now. I'm into, they more or less got the message right, but they got it right in the positive way. And so many of my friends in mainstream media, TV, radio, print, they'll call me or they'll text me and they'll be like, Lino, this Pope is out of his mind. And I'm like, no, he's just Catholic. You just never really heard the message before. And so I love the fact that in some ways, this positive press we're getting is not even necessarily completely accurate, but I know so many Catholics, born and raised, maybe haven't gone to church every Sunday, maybe haven't gone to church for a little while, but because of the mainstream press, the things they're hearing about the Pope make them want to go back to church, make them want to go back to confession. And even if they don't actually know the story quite right, mainstream media is telling our story better than we know how to tell our story. And if it's getting people back closer to God, I love that secular media.
Mission is in the world, in the marketplace, where you live, where you work, where you interact with people of all faiths and all religions. The Holy Father told the young people in Rio, take the church to the streets.